It was a mixed bag for us in week 4. The cash game was down, but the GPP lineup was way up. We'll talk all about that and get you ready for week 5 with a full cash and GPP lineup and discuss the latest disturbing news out of the NFL, all coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee.
And I'm Michael Kurtzman, and we are the Fantasy Football Consultants. Boy, Eric, we have some shocking news about what has happened around the NFL. Due to the current health situation, more Tennessee Titans have been infected, and Stephon Gilmore, the best corner in the league. Things are just not looking good for the NFL unless they convert into a bubble.
Yeah, Gilmore gave a big hug to Patrick Mahomes after the game. So we don't know. All we can do is, in all seriousness, wish all players and everybody who is dealing with this health situation the very best. And of course, selfishly, as big football fans, we hope that we get a full NFL season. We'll see. But let's talk about before looking forward, how did week 4 go for us, Michael?
So week 4, as you said, was a up and down week. Our cash game was down, but our GPP skyrocketed. For cash, we had some great players go off. Our studs include Ryan Fitzpatrick with 26 points, Devontae Parker with 24 points, and Alvin Kamara with 21 points.
All right. Fitzpatrick could have done better if he could have gotten some touchdowns. They got like a million field goals when they got into the red zone. But, Murray was the one who got a bunch more touchdowns than Kamara. Go figure.
Yeah, the 1 week we pick him. And for our duds, Darrell Henderson Jr. with 5 points, Tyler Lockett with 6 points, and Logan Thomas with 2. The problem with Darrell Henderson is you never know who the Rams are going to run the ball with. They're a committee just like the Niners, and you never know on any given play who the running back is going to be.
Yeah, and we switched off Logan Thomas to Adam Trautman, but he was no better. He was a big zero. So, let's just tell me about GPP. Brighten me, put me in a better mood.
All right, yeah. Well, for the up in the week, our GPP lineup skyrocketed for 174 points compared to the 111 points in the cash game. This Prescott with a whopping 42 points, Amari Cooper with 36 points, and Odell Beckham Jr. with 38 points.
Yeah, super great. Obviously, your results, if you use that lineup, depended upon the tournament you were in. The one we were in, we went 3x, which certainly isn't bad. We did need just a little bit more out of a couple of players to win big money, but certainly happy for 176 points. Real quick, if you're wondering about our own little DraftKings contest, the winners were Joe Morsel, DFS Chef, Wesley Winston, and Bradley Bowling. Here's your contest for week 5. Pick the flex player. So that could be any running back, any wide receiver, or any tight end. But they have to be on the main slate, and their salary must be below $7,000. So you can't pick someone who's $7,000. Anyone whose salary is below $7,000, who's a flex player on the main slate, enter it in the YouTube comment section of this video. Tell me your first choice, and then tell me your second choice, and then finally tell me your DraftKings username. If you're wondering who qualified, we have a running list on our official website, fantasyfootballconsultants.net, where we state all of the qualifiers. It's in the post under daily fantasy lineups. Well, Michael, I am just chomping at the bit. Are you ready for week 5?
I am so ready, Eric. All right, guys. Now, for our first player that we are going to add to the team would be Ezekiel Elliott for $7,800.
Michael, already you're starting with just spend the money. I mean, you probably would have spent it on Christian McCaffrey if he was an IR. Oh, man. All right. Tell us why you like Elliott at 7,800.
Well, Elliott is versing the Giants defense. Now, the Giants don't have the worst defense in the world, but they don't have the best defense in the world either. Against the run, they are ranked 10th overall, but they are versing the juggernaut offense of Dallas. So I have complete faith in Dallas to just run up the score and run the ball with Zeke. Over the past 4 games, Ezekiel Elliott has had 30 targets for 27 receptions. DraftKings is a full PPR, so every one of those catches counts as a full point. This comes in handy a lot. Now, Elliott is averaging 17.5 carries a game, but that is because Dallas has played behind the majority of their games. Now, when they're versing a team like the Giants with no offense, I have confidence that they will run up the score, thus making Elliott have a ton of carries.
Yeah, we love the fact that he's a home favorite at 9 points. As you said, game script should dictate that the Cowboys will be running. So I was kidding you. I love this pick. And there's an argument that he should be more expensive than 7,800 given his amount of touches. 25, 28, 20, and 20 in the last 4 weeks, even in negative game script. This guy is game script proof. Speaking of being game script proof, our other running back at $1,000 cheaper, might I add, saving you some money, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Man, Michael, I love this guy. I love the fact that he is at home. I love the fact that he's a massive favorite this week, 12-point favorite. I don't like the fact that DraftKings hasn't gotten around, Michael, to getting his picture. Come on, we're in week 5.
Honor the man, come on.
You should be able to find a picture for him. But look at his touches: 25, 16, 25, and 19. Definitely think it's going to be a positive game script for running the ball with him, given that they're 12-point favorites. Really like this guy. If you want to criticize Michael, if you want to go, you know what is something that people don't like about Edwards-Helaire so far this year? He's only gotten 1 touchdown, but It's not his fault. I mean, it's like he's short of opportunities, except for your guy, Elliott, who leads the league in 9 carries inside the 5. Elliott, guess who's second with 6 carries inside the 5? It's Edwards-Helaire. So I think it's just a matter of time, and I think it's going to be this week that he converts one of those inside the 5 carries against, the Las Vegas Raiders. 25th ranked rushing defense. I think this is his game, Michael.
Yeah. But on a less high note, the one thing that's we don't like so much about Edwards-Helaire is his ability to convert inside the 5-yard line. He's not that big of a back, and so we are hoping that against the Las Vegas Raiders, he will start being able to punch in those goal-to-go scenarios instead of getting stuffed, which he has been all year.
All right, so wide receiver. I'm just keeping a personal tally, Michael.
How much money I'm going to spend?
I spent $1,000 less than you, but okay. Where are you going at wide receiver?
For wide receiver number 1, I'm actually saving a couple $100, and I'm going with Robbie Anderson for $5,900.
Okay.
Guys, if you guys saw Monday night, Green Bay versus Atlanta, Green Bay had their bottom 3 receivers out on the field, and they torched Atlanta. Atlanta is so horrendous against the pass that it's so bad. They're the second worst in the league against the pass. And Robbie Anderson, over the past 4 games, has had 34 targets with 28 receptions. He is number 1 in terms of targets and catches on his team, more than DJ Moore. And the next closest to him is Mike Davis. And so for $5,900, you could argue that this is a great steal to have because of Atlanta's piss poor secondary and the amount of receptions, the amount of targets he gets.
Yeah, he seems like he's really developed a clear relationship with Teddy Bridgewater. So remember, Bridgewater wasn't on the team last year. He doesn't have that history with DJ Moore. So both Bridgewater and Anderson are new to the team this year, and they seem like they have a major connection. I like this pick. I will save money again by more than $1,000 than your guy. I'm going to pick a guy who I think is in a really good game script this week at 4,800. It's criminal that he's this cheap, Michael. $4,800, Darius Slayton, going up against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, here's the deal. I know that the New York Giants offense has struggled. The New York Giants offense has scored less than anyone in the NFL by far. Okay. But when it comes to wide receivers, it's all about Darius Slayton on the Giants. He leads the team in targets, in receptions, in yards, in touchdowns of the wide receivers. So that's why I like him. And of course, I love him for the matchup. It's carnival time when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. They have been giving up yards left and right. They are the 32nd ranked defense. And I think the Giants are going to be forced to pass. They're going to be forced to pass because, as we said, I think that as 9-point underdogs, the Giants will be coming from behind. Let's dial up Darius Slayton at only $4,800.
Yeah, I like that you're chipping in to help my expensive spending habits. But unfortunately, that will not be necessary because for this next pick, I'm going dog cheap for $3,000, Damiere Byrd of the New England Patriots.
Thank you, Michael. I love it. Saving some money.
Now, I'm not sure if you guys watched the game last night of the Patriots, but N'Keal Harry was not the number one receiver. No. It was Damiere Byrd with 10 targets. Now, over the past 3 games he has played, he has had 22 targets for 14 receptions. He's the clear number one guy on New England, and with Newton probably being out, the connection that he had with Stidham was actually pretty solid, and with Hoyer. Denver has the 22nd worst pass defense, and New England's at home. So, personally, this Damiere Byrd, for as cheap as he is, you just can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's a big statement to say that he's the number one wide receiver, but I hear you. He's on the field. He's on the field as much or more than Edelman and Harry, and he does have that connection with Hoyer. The only other person Hoyer has a stronger connection with is potentially the opposing team, because he didn't play well at all. But you asked whether our audience watched the game. I'll tell you who didn't watch the game. DraftKings. DraftKings set this salary before the Monday night game. So that $3,000 basement salary, if New England had played when they originally were scheduled to play the game, which was on Sunday, I guarantee you this salary would have been bumped up $1,500. It's not, so we're going to take advantage.
Yep. Like DraftKings, come on. Pay attention, guys. What are we doing?
Well, they set their salary before Monday's
Sunday night.
And they will not change it no matter what, which is why we enjoy getting these different bargains after the fact.
Yeah.
All right. So if you permit me, I'm going to move over to quarterback before you spend all our money. No. You did a great job with Birdie. Great.
I went cheap for you.
You did. I appreciate it. Because of Ezekiel Elliott and some and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I don't think we can go way up with the Jackson or Mahomes.
Josh Allen is.
I want to pick somebody who we think has a good value. Okay, and at only 6,100, my guy is Matt Ryan, playing at home, playing with a very high implied total of 28.5. Matty Ice is pretty much almost, you can just really rely on him on DraftKings to always flirt with that bonus, which is 300 passing yards. I think he's going to get it this week. The other thing we look for is completion percentage as well as TD percentage. He's a guy who usually completes a good 65% of his passes, which we like. I love all the weapons he has at his disposal. I'm a little concerned about Julio Jones once again getting hurt in the last game. I'm not sure his status for the upcoming game, but we know we got Calvin Ridley, Michael Gage, and of course, Hayden Hurst at his disposal. I like it at only 6,100.
Yeah, and on the show last week, I said that the mid-range quarterback has the best value per price, which is very true. And the Atlanta Falcons, you can just always count on them passing the ball. Their game plan is pass all day. Their running game is virtually non-existent.
Well, Todd Gurley didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, well, it's a fact.
Hey, he had a good game on last Monday night and a couple of touchdowns. But
yeah,
I don't know who's going to win this game. Carolina has played well. I really think this game could be a shootout. Let's see what happens.
And remember, Atlanta can blow any lead. 28-3, 20-0. Like it's all possible.
All right, where do you want to go at tight end?
All right. Well, tight end, you got to go with the best tight end in the league. Yes, the best tight end in the league, George Kittle of my San Francisco 49ers. In the 2 games that Kittle has played, he has had 20 targets for 19 catches. That is an average of 10 targets per game. Why would you pull up Travis Kelce? That's just criminalism.
Just to troll you.
Kittle is the best. Which means he averages 10 targets a game, which is like Hopkins level targets. It's crazy. Like just last game, he had 15 targets for 15 receptions and a touchdown. Now, I don't think DraftKings counted his drop 2-point conversion. No one remind me about that loss to the Eagles. If you do in the comment section, I don't know if we can be friends. But so technically he's supposed to have 16 targets for 15 receptions, but for the sake of this video, we'll just say he has 15 targets for 15 receptions with a touchdown. He's a big red zone threat. He's primarily the Niners' main red zone threat. And if you look at total targets on the entire team, Kendrick Bourne has the highest with 22, and he's played all 4 games. Kittle is second with 20, and he's played 2 games. And he's $6,600 because he got injured. This is another instance of DraftKings. Guys.
But that game, I don't know if I've ever seen that performance
Nick
ever.
Mullins, oh my gosh.
Ever. No. I'm not taking a shot at your team. George Kittle, I've not seen a game like that out of a tight end. And I've been watching football for a very, very long time. It is as if you were playing Madden, a video game, where you got a cheat code that said, oh, okay, I can just back up, throw to my tight end. Back up, throw to my tight end. I really don't care who the quarterback of the 49ers will be. I know there's a chance Garoppolo comes back. I don't mind Nick Mullins, who's zeroed in on Kittle, or Garoppolo, who's a better quarterback.
Or Garoppolo, who still zeroes in on Kittle, but it's okay.
So, very good. I like it, even though you, once again, spent a lot of money, but I love the pick.
It was for a good cause this time.
Yeah.
All right.
I love the pick.
All right. And now for flex, we're going with Mike Davis, who is $6,400. So on the sort of pricier side of mid-range, but the value out of this guy is incredible. Mike Davis, over the past 3 games that he has played, he has had 23 targets. For a running back, that is absurd. That's an average of 7 2/3 targets a game. And he's had 21 receptions, which means you can expect him to at least get 7 catches a game. DraftKings, once again, is full PPR, meaning that every single catch is in a full point, which is incredible because if he gets 7 catches, that's an extra 7 points added onto his total. And once again, Atlanta has the second worst pass defense in the league. And for only $6,400, you're getting a guy that can just rack up a bunch of catches. And his rushing attempts aren't the best, but last game he did score a touchdown. And versus Atlanta, I have complete faith that he'll be able to run the ball and catch the ball effectively for only $6,400.
I don't have a problem with 16 attempts, and I certainly don't have a problem with 21 touches, which is what he has given us the last 2 weeks. Look, when Christian McCaffrey went out, I thought that a bunch of different players may fill that void. Mike Davis has filled the Christian McCaffrey spot. He does everything that Christian McCaffrey has done.
Well,
no. The caveat is I'm not saying he's as good as Christian McCaffrey. He's not. But they're using him in that role of Christian McCaffrey. And by the way, he's a lot cheaper than Christian McCaffrey will ever be. So I think it's a great pick. Did you want to make a comment?
Well, I like Mike Davis, and McCaffrey is a lot higher priced because he's a lot better, but they get used in the same way, so it's a bargain.
All right. Okay, you left me $2,600.
That's more than enough to pick a defense.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenses to choose from. Oh my. What do I want to do with these wonderful choices? It's not going to be the Raiders. And it most certainly will not be the Giants. Look, I'm going to pick a home defense. I want a defense that I think the game script is going to be in their favor. I want a defense that I think is going to play from ahead, who faces a offense with a suspect quarterback that you just don't know what he's going to do. He could be good or he could be bad, quite frankly. So you probably can figure out who the defense is going to be. It's going to be the Houston Texans.
But Minshew Mania. Minshew is, well, that's a good point. Minshew is inconsistent.
Yeah. So look, I'll address the elephant in the room, right? The Houston Texans defense has played some really good offenses, and they've been torched, right? By the likes of Mahomes, by the likes of Lamar Jackson.
And Dalvin Cook, who single-handedly destroyed them.
Minshew is not of that caliber. Here, you don't want to play your defense against a conservative team, right? Because what you want is to play your defense against a team that's going to pass. And I think there's going to be a situation where Jacksonville is going to be passing a decent amount. Remember, all sacks, all interceptions, and 60% of fumbles occur in the passing game. I'm comfortable, given that you only left me $2,600 in the Texans defense. I will say, Michael, if you had a lot more money, which we don't, we both like the Pittsburgh Steelers this week going up against Philadelphia.
The lowly Philadelphia Eagles, who are so bad of a team. I'm sorry to offend you all, Eagles fans, but
you're not bitter, are you, coming after the...
No, see, we didn't lose to their offense. We lost because of Mullins. He totally threw the game for us. But literally, Philadelphia is a dysfunctional team. Their quarterback isn't that great.
Yeah, and they have lost a lot of weapons in that passing game. Alshon Jeffries is out. Dallas Goedert is out. Deshaun Jackson is effectively out. He's playing, but you can't tell.
He's so old that it's yeah.
All right, so that is our cash game lineup. Let's move on to GPP.
Eric, what made us go with the Las Vegas at Kansas City stack?
Look, I went with the highest over-under game on the board. So That is Kansas City and the Raiders. And I picked the best players in that game. Pat Mahomes, and I especially like Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill has a lot of high air yards. When he goes off, he usually really goes off.
Yeah.
So a couple of deep throws to Tyreek Hill, and we're in business. Now, the best weapon that the Raiders have coming back in their passing game is absolutely Darren Waller. He's had 3 of 4 really big games this year. The one game he did poorly was when Bill Belichick was able to game plan specifically against him and when Waller was coming off an injury. He's perfectly healthy now. I think he has a huge ceiling in this game.
Yeah, and another thing is the Las Vegas Raiders may or may not have Damon Arnett, their number 1 corner that would effectively cover Tyreek Hill. So that also makes Tyreek Hill an even better option. Now, Todd Gurley II.
As opposed to first.
Or as opposed to anyone else.
Yeah, so I want to talk about Todd Gurley and David Johnson together. They're both at home. They're both favored. And they're both at a very economical price. They also are both the goal line back on their team. Todd Gurley coming off 2 touchdowns in the last game. Really high ceiling that both of these guys, given the price that they can return against defenses, Michael, that don't scare me. Carolina, a terrible run defense. Jacksonville, an equally bad.
Oh, Jacksonville is
run defense.
Anyone can do well against Jacksonville. They are the laughingstock after Jacksonville got destroyed so fast.
So the other wide receiver, I know he's listed as questionable, but we'll monitor that.
Scary Terry.
Yeah, McLaren, I'm going to click on him just so people are reminded of how great a job he has done this year. He's been incredible. He's the one guy that is getting a lot of targets. And here's what I like. Washington has made the change. Haskins has been so bad. They are switching to Kyle Allen in this game. Not that I think Kyle Allen is that great, but I think he'll be an upgrade over Hopkins. And there's no other guy that can be depended on in the passing game on Washington. I think he'll lock in on McLaren. And game script wise, once again, I think they'll be behind.
Yeah. And if you look at what Terry McLaurin did against Baltimore, 10 catches on 14 targets. And this is against Baltimore, who doesn't have a shutdown corner, but they've got a very good secondary, like one of the best in the league. And now he's versing up against the Rams, who, yes, they do have Jalen Ramsey, the second best corner in the game, or the best, depending on whether you like Ramsey or Gilmore better. But we have confidence in McLaurin that he can beat anyone.
Yeah,
and he's also the only guy that Washington has, so
exactly,
you can't really go wrong.
And remember, this is not a cash game pick, right? This is a GPP pick, and you feel like he has a high ceiling, right? He can't. There are scenarios where he can absolutely go off, even against Ramsey, and that's what we're betting on.
Dallas has got the juggernaut offense. Amari Cooper has been averaging 13 targets a game, and he's the by far and away clear number 1 receiver on Dallas. And this looks to be the first year that he is not having inconsistent play. And so for that, now that's generally goes against what you want for GPP. You want high ceiling, but Amari Cooper is one of those receivers that has, for this year, at least, he has a high floor and an extremely high ceiling. Like, look at last game, 16 targets.
Look, the Titans are bargain basement here, folks, at 2,100. If you look at the defenses, they are the second cheapest defense. I have no idea what DraftKings is doing. I do not understand why the Titans are the second cheapest defense. On FanDuel, there are 12 defenses that are cheaper than the Titans. Look, they're home and they're in a pick'em game basically against Buffalo. And they face a Buffalo team that no question about it, a great offense. And Josh Allen has been spectacular this year, but Josh Allen takes chances. He takes chances with throws and takes chances running around back there that could lead to some mistakes. And for a complete punt pick, I like it at 2,100. Yeah. Well, Michael, that is our GPP lineup.
Also, do not forget to check out our affiliate Draft Dashboard. If you click the link down below, you will be able to get a $1 a trial for 1 month for the low price of $1. Now, let's talk a little bit about Draft Dashboard. Draft Dashboard gives you all the stats needed to dominate in DFS between implied total, over, under, and just how well they've been doing. Draft Dashboard is the key to winning your DFS, so click the link down below to check it out.
Yeah, that link's in the description. And what it really does is it aggregates so much data in one set platform, it really cuts down on your research time. So if you're a DFS player and you want to help us out and support our channel, please click on that link, join up, check it out. And hey, let us know what you think in the comments. If you're someone who watches our content and you're kind of a YouTube watcher that just doesn't usually engage, you don't click the like button, you don't hit subscribe, you don't write a comment, I want you to change a new lease of life here. Go outside your comfort zone. It's all free. Please, it would really help us out, and it would be great to support the channel. This channel is completely free. We don't charge anybody for any of the stuff that we do. So if you want to, quote, thank us or, quote, tip us for that, that's what we do by clicking the like button. That's what you do by hitting the subscribe button, and then participating in the community by leaving comments. We greatly appreciate everything that you guys do. We wish you good health and safety, as well as we do the entire NFL.